Hello, Sunny. Hello, hello. Oops. Did not mean to make you disappear.
Oops.
Okay, martial arts dudes. Hi. Hi. Thank you for the gift again, Sunny.
Yeah.
Sunny gave me a Steam gift.
Oh, what'd you get?
What's this little game, a spooky game?
What game?
It's called...
Hi!
Hi, Maud. Welcome. It's called...
She doesn't even know what game she got. How dare.
I do. What is this? Buffy has invited you to join a Steam Place test.
電子機器修理屋へようこそ。
Oh, this looks cute.
こ
Oh,
こ
this
は
looks
東
really
京。
cute. Merry Christmas. Merry Crisis.
Merry Chrysler.
The cheese tax, the
The
cheese tax.
You
gotta pay the cheese tax every time you're cooking. When the cheese comes out, this puppy comes looking. The rules are the rules and the facts are the facts. And when the cheese drawer opens,
Wait, why can't I invite you to this playtest? Some friends cannot be invited because you have not been friends for 30 days. What the?
I'm not just asking 'cause I'm looking for snacks.
Me and Sunny have not been Steam friends for 30 days, so I can't invite her to a playtest. Thank you for the lurk mod.
Well, not gonna invite me.
It's kind of a cozier game. I don't know if you'd like it. It's called Restory. I only have 2 available invites.
Oh. I didn't want to play anyways.
I mean, you could look the game up and see if you'd want to play it, and I'll invite you to it.
Maybe.
Okay, what are we doing? We are... I'll just have to save my invites until we are friends for 30 days. Martial arts, guys. I do not see... Do I have to zoom in? Oh, is this... No, that's a quest. King Hay Riverside Station Police Patrol. Prison Patrol. Oh, here they are. Oh, one sip of this and I can feel my power surge by 30%. The partying tears really... Yippee! Ooh, 35 stream streak. Holy shit. I got the twin blades and I like them. Yeah. I haven't had enough to drink yet. Drink with me, young hero. Okay, I'm gonna roll.
No, wait, I don't need to watch. I can't right now. Because I'm dying.
Okay. Oh, wait. Treat the goose. I will treat the goose.
You should fail on treating the goose. There's an Easter egg for it.
No! Oh my god, I almost broke my legs.
Open.
There's an Easter egg. What kind of Easter egg?
You gotta fail the goose healing.
How do I fail?
Just like do the healing, but then just skip your turn, because there's no real way to fail it when you're a higher level.
Hi!
Man, this is a Wendy's.
Just keep skipping my turn. Did you know, Mashi? I did not. Apparently Shizzle says I have to fail this, so I am skipping my turn.
This is not a Wendy's.
Ma'am, this is not a Wendy's. Do you though? Well, can I go back and actually heal him, or is this not gonna...
You can do that every day. It's a daily thingy. But there's a little bit of an Easter egg in your,
I just told you, Cox! I literally just said I'm failing this because there's an Easter egg.
oh, oh, Cox, you haven't seen anything yet. Mashi's about to get her ass beat.
Why?
There's a really easy way to beat them. Wait, they fight each other? Oh.
Yeah?
Oh god. Oh, you saved them. You get an achievement for fighting. So. Oh! Oh!
Do I get an achievement for fighting it and winning?
Yeah, you have to kill it.
It's not attacking me.
Do you want an easy win, or do you want to try to do it like that? He's attacking. He's kind of chill. There's a really easy way. Oh, he healed.
He's like glitching out. I don't know what's happening.
Right, on the right side of the bridge, So to your right now, throw him in the water. He's getting too far from this like little spawn.
Did I die? I'm fucking stuck.
In the water. Nope, it's gotta be on the other side of the bridge. I gotta throw it right in.
I'm not really getting beat up by the goose that much.
He almost like one hit you earlier. But then he just stopped attacking you.
Okay, here. I'm a goose slayer. Who's getting the shit beat out of him now, Cox? Yeah, take that. That's you. That's me at you. Throwing you into the water. You threw a bird. Yeah, I did. And I'll do it again! Fuck you. I did it once and I'll do it again.
I did it once and I'll do it again.
Oh, can I roll now?
Yeah.
Where is it again? The bell. It's this one. No. No, it's this one. Wait.
Oh, you have that one. You need one more. You have 9.
I can buy it.
Go look at your... No, go look at your quests. You might be able to get them through. Not those quests, the event, sorry. The Burst of Winter event. Then click on tasks.
Consume
Underneath your number.
energy.
What do you have for phase? The whole event.
Online mode. I don't know how I didn't get this. We were together for like 8 hours.
Yeah, I don't know. You could do the arena one. You don't have to win. You just do it 10 times. That one's super easy. Stamina could be super easy too. Just craft a ton of arrows or something. Bunch of food. Just do a bunch of arena. You can see how people really, how they'll really mess you up.
I'm gonna get messed up. Can I Meridian touch them? Honey?
Who? I mean, you can, but it does the in-combat version. Very, very low chance to stun. Does a little bit of damage.
Few matches with similar martial mastery expand 1v1 match pool. Does everyone do like arena or something? Am I the only one that doesn't?
It's probably just because you're level.
Novice 1.
Sentries unfold at one end.
What is he doing?
Might be a mobile player.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you just gotta keep hitting and keep that stun lock going. Whoever gets the most attacks off wins.
I'm trying to stun. Or I'm trying to parry. It's not working out.
Parrying is not very good. You're better off just running away from them. Like, if you can get away, just start running around. Then it's too hard to hit. And don't forget your tab ability as well. To like switch your weapon.
I
to
don't have
continue your
tab.
combos.
Oh, I do have tab.
Yeah, you see how he just runs away? He's wasting your buff.
Come on.
You're just doing that just to get things.
I'm gonna win! I'm gonna win! I'm gonna win! Yeah! They let me win. They let me win. There's no way. They let me win. Not even the real Mashi? What do you mean? I am Mashi. I'm Mashi. Killed. Bless. Bless you. Bless you. Bless.
No.
It's on the floor by the nightstand. Ew.
Someone should gift me a sex change potion for where winds meet. So I could be cute.
You wanna be a girl?
Yeah, I want to be cute.
Don't you have a gender exchange potion?
No. Just the face change. The gender change thing's like 1,300 beads. That's crazy.
Why don't you have your glasses on, Mashi? I do in real life. Why? Because I can't see. Will it tell me if I have oddities to turn in?
Yeah. You see how it says the Meow Meow Temple?
Yeah.
It shows when you have stuff to turn in for whatever.
No, I don't think seeing is overrated. I would like to not be blind. That'd be pretty cool.
One step, darkness.
If I have to go blind, I expect all of my food to taste like I'm eating like a king every day.
How blind? Like, if I take my glasses off, I can't even see the screen in front of me. It's blurry. Like Velma blind. I'm missing a cricket. I don't have any oddities. You lied to me.
How is that not in sync? These game servers are so ass.
Gigi's in his tunnel sleeping. I don't actually know if he's sleeping. Gigi, you sleeping? No, there's not enough room for you in his tunnel. Did you just crawl in the tunnel? No, I was turning him around so I can see him.
Healer must save all self. Sentry unfolds in one end.
Prime meat. Yum. What is this?
Heaven bleeds with desire. Heaven bleeds with desire. Is someone calling me?
Wait, who's calling me?
One side darkness, one side darkness. Heaven bleeds with desire. Sentry unfolds in one end.
They have cell phones? No. What? Oh, they don't have cell phones. Oh, because they were calling me. No, they were yelling for me. Acha!
Did you roll? Did I miss it?
I didn't roll. I don't
No, you
have
didn't.
one.
That's right, yeah.
Sick crap. Got another crab. Nice. Can I get something other than a carp? Whoa. Okay, how does this work? How do I change my bait? Alt. Carpe Maro. Ah! I'm not going in my thing. I can get the bar. Ah! Don't make that sound ever again, please. Ah! Come on, dude. Bruh! Why? It's because I still have a kid's fishing pole. How do I get a better one?
You buy it in one of the shops.
Hey, dude, do you have a better fishing pole? I'll challenge you. Yeah, let's go.
Oh no, I'm hurt.
I'll heal you. I'm fishing though. You have to
What did
wait.
I get? Oh, I got bee venom.
Bee venom.
I got stung by bees. I'm allergic, I'm dying.
No, don't die. I have to fish.
I think the oddities respawn. You can collect them multiple times. I think they respawn over time.
Oh, worm bait. I forgot I have to select a specific kind of bait. Uh...
Yo, I'm infiltrating someone's solo mode. Let's go.
How do you do that?
Bounties. Someone put a bounty on a guy. It's like Dark Souls invasions kind of thing.
Oh, that's cool. fishing game. Okay, what bait do I need? Worm.
No way. Did they just alt F4?
That's crazy.
That's wild.
I'm playing through Dispatch. I'm trying to romance Invisigal. Oh, what did you do the first time? What ending did you get?
Oh, teleport. I'm freaking stuck.
Just friends with both. Well, you didn't commit an HR violation. Did you get an achievement for that? Oops.
Pussies.
Hey, that's not nice.
Whatever. They got a bounty on them and then they ran to their little buddy. They didn't even do the fighting. They teleported away to their little buddy and I got stuck in some cave thing because it teleported me to the person again and it got me stuck.
I need to use my energy.
Energy?
Need to use my energy. Chisel, wanna engine swap your WRX with a Honeywell AGT 1500?
Yes, you can do it, but you have to buy my car first in case you mess it up.
Yeah, he's selling his car. He wants to sell his car.
$15K. You have to buy the engine too. I am paying for that.
falls to one end. Soul scorched with rage. Heaven bleeds with desire. One fell, darkness.
I can't run!
Untold love and doom. One fell, darkness. Heaven bleeds with desire. One fell, darkness. Untold love and doom. And grief unfolds to one end. Untold love and doom.
Don't run from me. Oh my god! Come on! Please! I'm stun locked and I can't run away! That's crazy! Once you get hit, once you get stun locked, you just fucking...
You
You're
gotta
just
learn your combo where you
lose.
can keep.
Can I heal myself?
You can, but that's not. That's ridiculous.
Oh, I'm lost.
That's just practice. You just need to learn your weapons. You actually have to do a combo when you're doing PvP. You can't just spam click. And running away, there's no point in parrying because the latency is so bad. You can't.
Well, I
time the
can't even
parry.
run away because I'm stun locked. There's no way to run away once you're
Yeah,
like
you
in a
gotta run
combo.
first. No, yeah, you have to run first, and then they're gonna chase you and try attacking. And once they attack and miss, then you turn around and start attacking them.
Okay, but what am I supposed to do if I'm stun locked? I can't
you
just run
gotta
away.
hope- You gotta try to. You could try blocking. It's bad, yeah. It's annoying. PvP, like I said, you're only just doing it just to get the participation rewards. And there's no other point in the game where you have to do PvP, so.
I want this outfit. Oh, I can draw this. Solemn Echo. Should I do that? Solemn Echo. Do I get... Oh, that's kind of pretty. Oh, they're
Wait, what?
capes.
Solemn Echo?
Solemn Echo, the draw.
Oh, the regular one? I mean, if you have the rolls for it, yeah. Those are just like the free ones.
What? Fireworks?
Yeah, there's nothing really good. There's like 3 or 4 things you can get out of that one.
I mean, I can do a 10 roll, but I'll have to use my pearls.
No, what else do you need to do for the...
Oops.
Because you get a bunch of those. You get 20 of those in total.
You did? Which outfit did you get? Daily dose of
shade over here,
positivity,
getting
gorgeous time
lucky.
zones, you sexy moon buds, don't let things get under your skin. You can do things you set your mind and heart to. Never lose hope in life, shine on. Always remember you're divine, exquisite, fantastic, and gorgeous. Much loves you, hilarious beans. Wow, Daily Dose, it's been a while. I hope you're doing well. You're wearing it? What the fuck? What the fuck? Friend.
Did I not add? Yeah, I don't have shade added. Low.
you got the green one. Pretty. I like the green one. Fizzy Oz all Heckmas. I know. Same. I have to use 40.
40 energy.
That'll put me to... Well, it gives me 100 plus. That will not put me to 6,000.
It's not that one you need. You need the other one. You need the winter one.
This one?
And you don't need 6,000. That's your weekly cap. It's 300 points per level on the battle pass. But go to your event page. And it's the Verse of Winter. That should be the second one, I think. Check with tasks. So energy there. And then the phase stuff, like you can like grind out that phase stuff. So you got to do 8 more arenas. You can, like I said, for the stamina, you can just craft a bunch of arrows or something. You can just upload stuff, upload outfits, take pictures in the open world. There's a lot of stuff you can do.
Oh, can I heal you?
I'm hurt. I'm hurt.
He died. Me Venom. It's okay. You'll be fine.
Oh, I didn't like, I'm sorry.
Wow, I'm never
clicked
healing
spacebar by accident.
again. Wow.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna go die. I'm gonna go die.
Oh, wow, there's no way, I guess that... What the...
No, it's
Oh, it's a serve. We have to do a duo pose 3 times.
How do you get to the... Wait, can't you do it in here? Join. Join. Oh, I'm reading the newspaper.
Look, he's reading it!
Who's the caring older brother to Feng Ruzi? Damn, I got that wrong. That's way wrong. Okay.
I love our invisible glass.
Yeah, this one's really busted.
I think I got the reward. Make a little heart. Oh. I got it.
Yep. That's not the wrong one though.
Okay. Let's Try again.
Winterverse. Winterverse. What else we gotta do? Spend energy? Oh, spend energy. Go to an outpost. Pick mission. Have you done all these ones that are up here? Do you have all of the first time, like all the red towers? Have you done them all?
I don't know
Up
how
here?
to check.
You just click on each red tower and then scroll down in the rewards list.
I've done that one. Wait.
Yeah, so there, it'll say first time reward if you haven't done it. And there'll be a bunch of items.
I
you
have
can
not
get.
done this one. The Buddha Fort.
Okay, let's go do that one then.
Buddha, Buddha. Oh, let's take your horse. Let's take your horse.
Oh. It kind of flew away.
You did. Save
What is
me.
happening?
Save
Entry
me.
unfolds to one end. One side, darkness.
What is that?
Spear.
Yay. Yay. I can't get on. Yay. Yee, your cape is inside of me.
Can you use your bow?
How? No. No.
No? Oh, we can't do this then. We can't do this. This is definitely bugged out because they're in the ground for me.
Invite to ride together. Never mind. We're like right here. What's a sword? Gonna sneak up on him. Gonna sneak up on him. Gonna sneak up on him. Never mind.
Heaven bleeds with desire. One side, darkness. Untold love and food. Heaven bleeds with desire.
Give. Hello, Slash. Hello. Welcome. How are you? No, you weren't supposed to see me. Fuck.
Heaven bleeds with desire.
No. Get him. Ha la 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 la. Hold on. Gotta sneak up on this one. Gotta sneak up on this one.
Don't forget to loot their bodies too, please.
Have come to check on you, friend. Thank you. How are you doing? I sneak up on him. They'll never know. He's not looking at me.
Untold love and food.
Oh, 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 look at him. Oh shit. Oh, he died. Did you do that or did he do that? I like this guy. Just seeing my friend's streams. That's good. We are having some fun. Keep! Keep! having some fun with Where Wins Me. Hi, Keith! Thank you for the posture check. I will posture. I will. Oh, sorry, my bones. Let me shout you guys out. 1 second. Or Shay, can you shout Slash and Keith out, please? And thank you. If you're here. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Alright, hold up. Aw, he's... Alright, he's gone.
Well, that wasn't the right chest.
Thank you, Kingdom, for the donated bits. Oh my god, why are 7 people watching me, dude? I don't like this. My
This is
freaking
your
whole
stream.
fan
Is
base
no,
is
it's
such a
fine.
pussy.
I want to shout you out.
Hey, I swung by to return.
This is your moment. Oh, are those
Kay's gonna come back and be like,
pigeon? What are those? Oh, thanks.
Oh shit.
Do I claim double?
No, you can just claim 1 for now.
What did you fucking
So we're gonna
But I
end up
need
doing
40.
another one.
Or we're
Check.
gonna do another one.
What did all of you do?
We'll do more. See if
What
there's
is-
any other
Everything was
first-
redeemed.
Seagulls. I don't know my birds apparently. Oh, you're floating.
Everywhere.
You're floating.
You in the chest.
Yeah, but you're not on my screen. This game is bugged. I've finished the paddle bass. Well, I didn't finish it. I still have all these, but look at my cute outfit I got. Aren't I so cute? Hold on, let me zoom in. Let me. Yeah, you should follow Beef. Keef. I just called Keef Beef. Follow Keef. They're super cool. We've done a few collabs together. I have a tail. You can call me Beef. It feels odd calling you Beef. Oh, I didn't with this guy. Okay, where are we going? I've done this. Oh, I have not done this. Okay, Bloomvale Monastery. My peonies! They're marigolds! I like to be sneaky. I like to be sneaky sneak. Let me sneak up on this guy because he's big. Oh, he lost sight of me. Let's go. Oh god! You know what? Yeah!
Look what you've done to my peonies!
Look what you've done to my peonies! They're marigolds!
God, I think
You
she's
may
right.
not know
They
my
are marigolds.
flowers. I know a
may
bitch
not
when
know
I see
my
one.
flowers, but I know a bitch when I see one.
Azazel, hello. Or Wins Meat Mashi. That's correct. I need to watch that movie. It looks Really funny. It's my favorite vocal stem. I know a bitch when I see one.
What's up? Get it?
Why is there a dot here?
Because you just hit level 50.
Oh.
You can break through now.
I don't wanna.
50 is a good level to stay at. I liked 55 once you get the gear. But you'll want to get more world exploration stuff done, because like doing all the little side stuff also increases your stats too.
Okay.
And it makes the mini games easier too. That's why they get easier. Like pitch pot, your circle gets bigger as you increase, I think, your resolve
Oh, that's
stat.
nice. Oops. Develop this. Which inner way do I wanna? Probably this one. Infernal Twin Blaze normal light attack applies sin to enemies, while light attacks under Flame Lash apply karma. Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. Wait, why?
Go down. You have one that you have to unlock.
Oh, I see.
Nope, you passed it.
Battle Anthem.
Charge skills, you don't do any charge skills with your weapons.
I don't want to duel you.
Why did you accept that?
I don't know.
Here, wait. I'll do this.
No. No, fight
No.
me. No, fight me.
I can't unequip my gear? I can't remove it? Well, that's dumb. I can't remove gear.
Hold on, I have a guild quest to... Hold on, don't hurt me.
Don't hurt you.
Don't hurt me, please.
Don't hurt
Don't
you.
hurt me, please. Versus a winter. Completed. Online for 60 minutes. Sword trial.
Sentries unfold to one end. One side, darkness.
My god, what is that?
See, I'm surprised your duels got you multiple dual blades, people, but dual blades, according to the vast majority of the community, is very bad in PvP.
I've heard it was good. Are you using the rope dar? Is that what that was?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to duel.
Beat me up.
No.
Beat me up.
No. Fine.
Beat me up. Do it right now. Beat me up.
I'm beating you up. I'm beating you up.
Why is the duel not starting? Did you decline it?
One side, darkness.
You started too soon?
One side, darkness. Unfold all you do.
See, blocking's good, but
Oh, yeah, see, I can't.
Like, I can't parry as fast. When you're using them dual blades, like, I cannot parry it. I can get one out of a few, but, like...
Sentry unfolds to one edge.
Ooh. I just can't get out of it.
Unfold oven doom.
You have a lot of health.
Darkness. Sentry unfolds to
I'm not
one
doing
You're
any
also only
damage
hitting
to
me
you.
for twos.
Why? My
It's a
gear
level
sucks
difference.
that much?
Oh, it's just the level difference. 70.
Oh, you're 70?
Yeah.
Yo, is that up, dog? What's up, dog? Is that Boppy?
That's crazy how much... Attack me. That's kind of crazy.
Not much. How about you? Just kill me already.
This heals me. I did not know that.
No,
If I do this, and then this, now watch. When I attack you, look what's attacking you.
Ouch! 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 What was that? Oh, what is that?
Heaven bleeds with desire. One darkness. Boundless as a flame.
The little rats.
They're rats.
Look at them.
They just look like black blobs to me.
Yeah, they're quick.
They just lock onto you. Yeah, right? That's exactly what he's doing.
Sentry unfolds to one edge. Realms burn. Unfold oven
Poison
doom.
him?
I cannot get out of that.
Heaven bleeds.
Your damage is just so low.
One darkness.
Hi.
Wait.
Ma'am,
what the
this is a
heck?
Wendy's.
Oh, okay, there goes.
You're too kind.
See? You won.
No, I didn't. I lost.
Nuh-uh.
I said lose.
Mashi won a decisive victory.
Oh, no, I didn't win. I didn't kill you. That's not... I barely did damage on you. How is that a win? My hands are so freaking chapped. It hurts. It hurts a lot. Yeah, they itch and they hurt because they're so dry. I was gonna say chafed, but that doesn't make sense. I need like my working hands lotion.
What is marked here? Hello?
I don't know.
Oh, it's a flower.
Oh, they light up? No, they don't. What? Oh, they dim if you've done them today.
Yeah.
Okay. I have not done... I've done that one.
There's two on the left.
Oh my gosh! Chad, did you hear him? He came a zoom in! He came a zoom in! GG. Why do you have to tell me, buddy? Hey! Hey! Get over here! Get over here! Are you being silly? Are you being so silly? You sounded like that one cat. I forgot his name. Bagagua. The Bagagua. What's that cat?
Forgot.
GG carries
Merv.
wisdom.
Merv.
Merv! Yeah, he sounded like Merv for a second.
Oh god, he's summoning the Bagagua.
He summoned the Bagagua. Look, Gigi, my desk is so clean you could sit on it now. No, you can't leave. Yeah, it's Merv. Cute. Okay, let's see. There is this one we can do together. Wait, I never finished this quest? The moon goddess? I finished.
No, it doesn't different.
Oh yeah, she's not here anymore. You remind me of that woman from TikTok who puts on that creepy guy filter and says things she says to her cat. No, you can't leave. You have to stay with me forever.
Bro,
I just want to see your
You did this?
feet.
you did this, but you didn't use the exit.
Oh. I just want to take a picture of your feet.
I thought it was kind of nice.
Go!
Oh, am I in the way?
Yes!
I was grabbing a chocolate.
Can I have a
So I can choke on it
licorice?
again.
Don't choke on the chocolate. Look at those toes. These are definitely going in the folder. Oh my god. Does that mean you're gonna get quest rewards for this then?
No, I already
What?
did it. I get adventure slips for helping you. Right there.
Blinding mist. Ooh, that'd be cool in PvP.
Yeah, except I can't even use it yet. Well, no, now I can. It requires so much of the vitality to use it, you won't be able to use that till way later.
Okay, I want to equip it then. Should make a VTuber parody of her. Licorice! Thanks. Sound of Valor. No, this is called Wily Wallaby.
What is fake licorice? Like Twizzlers?
No, this is
Twizzlers are nasty.
this is I don't know, it's really good. It has more of that like real fruit taste. Yeah, I don't like Twizzlers. I just need to go around and collect quests. Unless you have some co-op quests we can do.
I don't know. I can't see what to do. Oh yeah, I can. I can see all your stuff we can do actually. I just have to zoom in. There's so much stuff to do. All the archery things, all the meow meows. Do the martial artists guys not show up in co-op?
You have to zoom in. Oh, maybe not.
No, they don't show up in co-op. What do you need for your Verse of Winter points? So you can do that 10 roll.
No.
You gotta go to event tab.
We need to play online for 60 minutes.
For the sword trial.
Oh, does it have to be does it have to be online? Does co-op not count?
No, it's counting. It's at 46.
It's been at
No?
46 since we started.
Oh, then yeah, it probably has to be online mode.
Consume 300 stamina. I've only consumed 16.
So stamina is for crafting. What else is there? Complete the chapter. That'll probably wait till later.
Okay.
You can just upload random outfits to the gallery and then just delete them. So just go to like appearance and you can just click the upload. You can also just do only visible to me or something.
Pretty. Did that count?
Yeah. It should. Burst of Winter, yeah.
Oh, it has to
You're
be.
at 70 out of 100. Yeah, you have to do several. 2 more times. Actually, that's all you'll have to do. That, and then you'll be able to like, get the item.
How do I delete? This one? This one.
Oh, does this not count if I do it for you?
I swear to God, if I get another firework. No, it's a purple.
Wait, which one was that?
Jade Pippa.
Oh. Cry. No luck.
I have 0 luck.
How many more do you need for a 10 roll on the other thing?
2. Season shop.
Oh yeah, yeah, buy that.
I can't.
Jade fish. Yeah. Where else can you buy those from? 'Cause there's a couple things you can get them from. Treasure shop.
Meow Meow
Messenger,
Temple.
Meow meow. Oh, meow meow.
You just
Come
gotta
to
open
me
more.
first.
I have no money. I already teleported.
For some reason, I can't complete your meow meow for you.
Oh yeah, it doesn't let you do that. Kitty. Kitty. Whimsy 59. Oh my god.
Does this count if you get it?
Whimsy 61.
It does. Cool.
Essence of Heaven. Jianghu.
Wait a second.
Oh, also Mashiasen. I saw, yeah. I'm excited to try it.
Are you gonna get this again?
I'm gonna draw on the Celestial Echo. No. Just one gold. Just one. Oh, you could buy them here too. Yeah, this game is just really, the freaking luck is so
No,
bad.
yeah, no. The gacha's very bad in this game, but you don't need to do it. You don't.
You don't, yeah,
It's
you don't need, it's
purely
just
cosmetic.
yeah.
You don't need it for any
Kitty,
gameplay.
kitty, 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 kitty.
And the gacha system doesn't, it's not even like a pay to advance or get things quicker either. The battle pass helps you get through quicker. You know, that's a cheaper thing. But the actual gacha system does nothing but cosmetic, which is really nice.
The
But
cosmetic
it's not
is
really an MMO because there's not really a whole lot to do in the MMO aspect of it. You're not seeing a bunch of other players.
no.
If you want a cosmetic farming game that's MMO, you gotta play WoW or Final Fantasy. Those are the only two that are out there that are like huge with a big cosmetic system. I want to play WoW again. I might. When the next expansion releases next year.
Apparently you can build houses in WoW now.
Yeah. They released it early because of how, I don't know, players wanted it.
What are we doing?
I don't know. What are we doing? I'm just running around collecting. What the heck am I finding?
I found agates.
Did that not count for you? Did you get a beehive?
I don't know. How do I check?
It would have popped up in the middle of your screen. I'm gonna grab another thing here in a second.
OMG model. This Mashi, this model's so cute. Thanks!
Alright, did you get that?
No.
That's done. So it's because we're too far away. I always have to do stuff around you. Oh, we can do this.
Carry me.
What level are you? 50?
Yeah.
You should do your advancement.
My advancement.
Yeah, so you could start getting level 51, tier 51 stuff. And then you could start doing Heroes Realm as well, because that starts at 51. Whoa, what are you wearing? What is that?
I had it in my inventory. I don't
I
know.
want outfits. Chat, buy me outfits. I want the 9th pawn shop. I want the kitty outfit.
How do I leave?
Oh, bye.
You told me to advance.
Yeah.
Oh, you can always roll back if it's too hard for you as well.
No?
Yes, you can.
You can roll back your breakthrough?
Yeah.
How?
You go to solo mode level and then you press R and it says, do you want to revert? After rollback, roar the difficulty will decrease simultaneously. Roll back to level 4 roaming.
What the heck? Weird. What happens to all the items then? Is it just unequipped?
I don't know, maybe.
That's cool. You should be perfectly fine at level 5 though.
Last one. Oh, this is not the last one. Actually, you need to master the heaven-seeking demon sky-breaking sword of the twin moons lunar reflection. You got this.
katana, a new tank weapon, and fist.
Let me fist them. I wanna fist them.
I want the fist. That was so cool. People have been showing it off on the Chinese server lately. But they look so cool. The katana is very handy. Like Monster Hunter.
No, I'm gonna lose. Ah! I didn't finish it in lesson 3. Come on.
You might have to switch. You might have to switch your fan out. So you can switch your weapon on.
God damn it. There's so many. There's so many like waves. There's 8.
You gotta look at your weapons too. You might be using really underloaded weapons. You don't have to get the 3-star on it.
I want to.
Just let you know.
Why do I have an 8?
So what weapon? Go over your weapon. I'm just gonna come over there because
I want a rope dart.
Let me see. Yeah, go over that. So that is tier 41. Have you tuned it? Press base. Add stuff to it. I just add all, because I'll do it again. Because all that stuff's only for tier 41, so do that for everything. Everything you would be covered right now. Give her back. Good, for purple ones have more. So tune that. I'll show you now.
Tune this.
Any. So put no. Minus that. Click one of the boxes. So these things. So click that. And then click this up here. And if you click this, it'll add it. And now because it has that little thing, it guarantees a gold thing. So you can kind of control to get there.
Do I want to do that?
Yeah. Because this stuff will be useless. And so, and those ones I can't. Oh my god. There's only got bow stuff so there was hands and bow. Nope, okay. That's why you're doing no damage. Bam. Do that for
for the other shop. So click the thing again and then there's the 99. You can do that weekly. So now do the second one because that's where you're going to enhance that to max. But you can't do that.
Oops.
General goods. Buy all that. You already have it. Okay. Do the same. Do whatever. Oops. Nope, you're good. Bye. At some point you're going to want to learn where these are in the world and go and farm them. But you got more to do your own too. I'll help you survive more. Comes up to buy first. Oops, with the bird.
Oops.
Nope, not that one. That's down. Down.
Oops.
Scroll down. Yeah.
Oops.
It'll auto go. Okay, now you'll do a lot better. Go try now.
Okay.
Watch you absolutely destroy stuff.
I hope so.
Yes. Light and heavy attack. Well, light attack is good for
I really don't like that.
We might have to go do the level 40 thing and try to get you out of the best one. Don't forget your shield. Four more enemies. Just watch using your watch that tilde key to uses your endurance. Oh, I did.
fast enough damage. I want that rope guard, I think. What do you mean I can't get it yet? I mean, Tai Fang.
Yeah, but you have to do something else. You just need a better. You need the set weapon. If you combo that with the strategic weapon, they'll get you that combo into the game. So you lead them and then you get them. I'm good with execution.
I hate tower
Like I
type,
said, dual-
tower-based things. I don't think I
Like
really
I said, you don't have to do it. You can do it later. But Wola. How do I team invite you?
Hi, Norman.
Go to Wandering Paths in your escape menu. Wandering Paths. And then click on Challenges. Actually, no, sorry. Before you do that, go to Develop. And then go to Improvement Guide on the right. And then go to Path Guide on the top. Path Guide on the top. Yeah. Click the purple DPS melee combat one. So the one above the... Yeah. Click that and set that as your path. Because then it'll show you the gear you're going to want for dual blading. I don't know. That's not going to change anything if you don't have, but, okay. So that's your path. Now go to Wandering. And then Challenges, and then which one has the RCMD? Which bot? Or go to the Campaign Challenges. On the left, the top left.
This one?
What's this one?
Kianye?
Okay, so you're gonna want the Swallow Call. God dang it, why that fight? Crying. Can you pick out of here? Oh, you can pick here. We'll do this first. Yeah, we'll do this. And don't be heals, just be DPS. Unless you pick heals. It should be fine. But if you are the healer, you are not. We do have another healer, but we shouldn't need it. Because this is a low level. There's someone else in here doing. Well, there's two other people already in here doing. We didn't have to do anything. And claim your reward.
2? 1?
Just do 1, because you're gonna get 6 boxes from 1. And you're gonna want to open that box with the swallow call for your option.
This one?
Yeah. Oh, you have so many of those? What the heck? We didn't even have to do this. So yeah, open it, and then you're gonna pick the swallow call.
Swallow call.
Is that in there?
No.
So it'll be for the bamboo wind cut. Bamboo cut wind.
Max?
Yeah, that'll give you a swallow call set. That's what you want. Because your light attacks will deal more damage.
3,
So
2,
yeah,
1.
max.
I'm reading chat.
Oh. Dang it, you didn't get any dual blades.
Did I not?
No.
What did I get?
You got like armors and stuff.
Can we do
you
it
could
again?
swap out the armors for the your characters blocking all your gear.
Why isn't it letting me go back to my inventory?
You gotta click exit in the top right.
Okay. Boss.
Oh yeah, boss thing. We got I forgot you unlocked talents too doing those.
Okay, and then
Oh,
develop.
why didn't I get? Oh, do I have to do it at my level? That's dumb. Actually, let's go do this right now. Go find strategic sword. Because that's like an easy one, because you switch to the sword, you're gonna spam your Q, and then just switch back to your dual blades. So go do that.
My hand is sweaty.
Sweaty.
My hand is sweaty.
You do.
I don't know why. Couldn't tell you why. Hands sweaty, mom spaghetti. There's no one here. Oh.
I like how you didn't even read the dialogue. Because when you use that thing, it says that you learned the inkwell fan in there. But it's bugged.
Oh.
It's a textbook.
This is another, I need to... Damn it. I hate these.
You want me to do it? I'll do it.
No.
Let me in. Let me in.
You don't see me, you don't see me, you don't see me, you don't see me. Stop looking at me!
Where are they?
Bruh.
Why are you trying to kill them?
I want to kill all of them.
No, you don't get anything for that.
Wait, can I try
You
again?
murderer.
Moiderer. I'm a moiderer. I want to kill this guy. Bagow.
Murderer.
Modowo. No, stop looking at me. I'm invisible. Oh, what do you mean? Bruh. How am I supposed to go around them? There's two looking in the same direction. One of them has to die. A couple of them have to die. Militiaman. Oh. There's this way. But what's up that way? Is that a chest up there? Use celestial. C's on the chest. Where? Oh. Okay, then where do I go from here? Oh.
I wasn't watching. He got Oops, ignore that, ignore that. I meant to do that. Sorry. Trying to grief you, you know.
Yeah. What is it? Space and I have to keep my... Oh, it's F.
Don't do it on the gray ones. You don't have to keep your mouse on it, you just press that. But just don't do the gray ones, only gold.
Nope. That one's gonna be gray.
49 out of 50.
Yeah, right.
Heck yeah.
Recommended? I want the heaven queen. Oh. No, that's not the one I wanted to do. I wanted to do the melee. Which one was I doing?
DPS melee combat, the purple one. Second from the bottom. Click it and like mark it. So like, you see how
Set
your
as
heal range
goal?
one's marked? Yeah, set as goal.
Oh, that's a rope dart.
Yeah. You'll do that later. Strategic blade is still good too though. Because you can do bleed damage with it. So you inflict your bleeds and then you keep hitting them with your steel blades. It's just something for now. And then level it up. And then for that, use the one with the wing. The third one.
What?
For the sword.
Oh. So I'm using this sword and the fan?
No, you're using the sword and the
Okay,
daggers.
but how do I...
Equip the infernal twin blades. Yep.
The one with the wing.
And then go to your gear. Because you can't... Or you trying... Yeah. Yes.
But it's only level...
The mastery is not what we're looking for right now. Mastery doesn't relate to your damage. It's just like a gear score number. And
I don't want the bird. Because this is...
tab, then you use your Q. If you press and hold your E, I believe it'll be.
The
You'll
circle.
do a dash. I don't know, you're keep. I'll just tab that in your
R for me.
Oh yeah, E will be your other, so your E, so you start with Q, you use your E and it will consume your bleeds, and then you hold R and dash through them, and then switch back to your fuel bleeds.
I almost got it.
Q, get that bleed down. You just gotta understand, I mean, it's your first time using the sword. Yeah, you gotta alternate between your weapons a lot. What you can do is like save your R for the dual blades, like when the enemy just spawns and you start with that. I would still try to get a bleed off though with the strategic blades Q, because that's what puts 5 bleeds on them.
I am pressing Q.
I know, but you start at every enemy, you start with that hit Q, and then switch over to your dual blade. Smack them for, you know, you do a combo, you do your R, you do your E, and then you switch back to strategic blade. Then repeat the combo and then go back to dual blade. That's tricky.
I like the ones that aren't timed.
Yeah. I had troubles with that rat one too, because the rats are so tanky for no reason. Try to aim down when you do that, because then you won't go as far. And keep using Tai Chi. And you can see their bleeds on them up top, so right now you only have 3 because you use the E ability. E removes bleeds. Uh-oh. Remember, their red attacks, it'll tell you when it's gonna kill everything else. We have multiple hits.
Dodge that. Or parry that.
Oh, you're not taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, but I still need to get, like...
What's it? After this, after killing your good stuff, so the rich people find out bleeds. That's free damage. And they're you like the dual blades, but you're focusing too much.
What?
It's his face.
It interrupted my F.
Yeah, when his new house all comes up, you can't even hurt him right there. They're just gone. They auto heal, they're cheap too. Remember, your E removes bleed. You don't want to use it.
Holy shit, that was long. Oh, my E removes.
You could start with that one, and then do E and Q, because then you have that keys. Time to break through! And then we're gonna go and replace all of your gear again.
Wait, did I not break through? Do I have another fight to do?
Did you not click the breakthrough?
Okay. Oh, pretty.
Now I'll do... Oh, you're still in the team. So do that, and then you're gonna go, once you claim everything, you're gonna go to Wandering Paths, go to Challenges, and then the last one, the Sword Trial, start the level 51, Formless Mountain Pass. Oh, that one too. You can also do Heroes Realm. We'll do both. Heroes Realm gives you free rewards. It's basically a weekly fight.
Do we want to
And
do
10 people go into this fight, so we'll do that one first.
Smart Assist?
No, do group up. Group
Don't
up gives
I
you
need
more
to, like,
rewards.
do my gear, though? Shouldn't I change my gear?
No, I'm gonna be... You're gonna get carried.
Okay. Start matchmaking?
Yep. Yeah, we have to do it as a group. Because there's no way we'll solo it. And then take off healing for this.
Okay.
What are you looking down at? You're looking at me. Why are you looking at me? Looking at me. No, you're not looking at me. Open your eyes. Well, this is gonna take a while, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Can I exit? I can't exit out of this, can I?
You can. But I think it, I don't... Are we in queue? Oh, yeah, we are. Yeah, you can exit it. Just don't hit F3.
I want this one. I want this one.
Oh, wait, no, yeah, you can equip all that new stuff. I forgot, it gives you new gear. Yeah, equip all the new stuff. I forgot.
I didn't get very many ones that are better than what I have.
Well, it's all gonna be tier, so like its base stats is better, but your tuning stuff could be better. But I just put everything new on anyways, because you're gonna end up replacing it with the new stuff we get from these missions and stuff. If we can get into one. Wonder if you should just go in as a healer so we can get in faster.
Well, I need to have a... Wait, what do I do?
Oh yeah, so in that you equip all your old gear in there, and it gives you more bonus damage. So go to the equip. Oh yeah, yeah. So basically, every time you break through every 10 levels, you can put your old gear back into that. Yeah, from here on, only level up the things you think you're gonna want to use, because this is the point where it starts getting pricey to be able to level everything up. Wait, what's new in the appearance tab? Or the weapons tab, sorry. Weapons tab in appearance tab. What that? Oh, that. The new ocean looking, like the ocean theme weapon.
Mirage boat.
Mirage boat? I'm gonna go into that. Gotta do the trial. Is nobody doing it at that level anymore?
You were right.
Mushroom? What's wrong with this mushroom?
Footprints show 2 people were here.
Yay! No,
This is gonna be
please
easy
ready
to look
up.
up.
Okay.
But there's 10 people that have to ready up.
Oh, there's 10. Right.
There's a bunch of high levels, so this is gonna be really easy.
I'm the only low level.
Bruh. Why do you queue up if you're not gonna... What just happened? Oh. Oh my god, we have one healer. So, for this, when don't stand and stuff in the ground. If you have a circle around you, get away from other players. When you're a donkey and there's other donkeys running on the map, run with the donkey.
I'm a donkey. I'm a
You just have to
donkey.
wait. Okay, you see these? Run with the donkey. Run with the donkeys. You're gonna run into the wall. That was quick.
Oh, what the fuck? I'm in the air. I'm in the air. I'm in the air. I'm in the air. Ah! Ah, how do I get out? Oh my.
Oh yeah, so if you go in the air, someone has to turn into a donkey and catch you. Or you die. It's instant.
Oh, donkey.
So go to a portal, run to a portal, and then run with the donkeys. Inside of them. You just keep running.
I'm
You're
gonna
hit the wall,
die.
just keep running into the wall.
I'm gonna die.
Keep running in with the donkeys. Oh wait, one more. We're a herd of donkeys.
This is such a weird fight.
Ah!
How do I turn back into a donkey? Oh my god. I'm a donkey again.
I walked in that one. This one we have to attack the donkeys.
Oh, I was a donkey. So I was like, how do I attack the donkeys as a donkey?
So on this one, now we have to attack the vines to free our allies.
Uh-oh, uh-oh.
You have to go turn into a donkey from the big...
I'm up. I'm up.
They're underneath us.
They were, and then they moved! Oh my god. How did they move? He's almost dead, he's almost dead. What is happening? Why am I taking so much damage?
Block, parry the thing. Yeah, that's parry all those little bees that come after you. Ta-da. So we go that and then come claim your reward here. And it's a free claim for this one, and then we're doing one more boss.
One more boss? So do I...
Yep. We just wait. Till the leader either confirms it or we wait 40 seconds.
Hello.
Hi! You're here.
Oh yeah, I just got out of the shower.
I just messaged you.
I did. I saw that. I just messaged you back.
I'm in a boss fight fighting a donkey.
Not. Ugh. Hate the. I will. If I ever see that man again, I'm running the other direction.
Well, you'll find him again. He's one of the trial bosses. Level 51.
Ugh.
And you'll have to do him to get good gear.
We're fighting with
Ugh.
like 9 or
But you fight him with 10 people.
8. Yeah, 10 people. Do we have to fight the donkey man again, or is this a different boss?
No, it's a different boss.
Okay.
So this one, you have to pick up barrels and move them away from barrels till they stop blinking, and we have to kill the bird when it comes down.
Sorry, say that again?
Barrels come, we have to move the barrels. You just run up to the barrels. Yeah, with the barrels, you have to move that away from other barrels.
That one's fine. That one's fine.
Is there a picture of Donald Trump? See if he's sleeping together in the same bed.
Where?
On the internet.
Probably a bunch of photos of the Epstein thing
That's
got released.
crazy. Good.
Can't even see where I'm at. Okay, I'm right here. Oh, why am I moving so weird?
So get out of the fire thing. So move towards everybody else.
Are you live right now, Mickey?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Thanks, we're dead.
We're dead? Why are we dead?
No. People need to move the. You want to help move barrels? Grab a barrel and just walk it away from the other ones.
Okay, everyone grab them before I could get to them.
There's still four that are close to each other.
That's pretty much what you doing this.
I should be doing this. But I'm doing it.
Oh, I did do that.
I don't want to kill you, but the secret of the switch dies here.
I'm not gonna leave a review until you show me the product. What are you doing? Show me the fucking picture. How is the commission with Lucy? I don't know. Let me see the thing when I asked. That shit. Oh.
Exit? Are we done?
Oh, that's
Dizzle!
Yeah.
oh Lord. You You guys aren't ready. You guys aren't ready for this.
You guys aren't ready for what?
You aren't ready. Shizzle's never gonna talk to me again.
No.
What? Where?
What's
Why?
your problem?
Hold on, I have to get it ready. Hold up, I have to. God, I need to make a fucking folder for. Where would I put this in here? What folder do I put this in? Care content.
I am now
Uh,
equal to 0.885 goose.
0.885 goose. Oh, what did you get from your stuff?
I didn't open anything yet.
Okay.
Exhaust. Which one is good? Misery Bell! Hello! Welcome, Raiders! Welcome, welcome! You were streaming music? You make music? Oh yeah, right? I feel like I remember that. Oh, look at your model, so cute! That is so cute. Did you commission that? I love your crown.
Oh, Lord.
Damn, I did pretty good that fight. I didn't take any explosive damage from
Oh
the barrels.
no, I don't have a single image of it. That's fine.
Ventuser? Guys, be wholesome. I'm a dictator. Oh, you're a dictator. That's why you have a crown. Please show me what you're laughing about.
Look at your stream.
Oh my god, 6'7", 6'7". Oh my god, that's so funny. I love the cloud. 6'7", 6'7".
Goodbye.
I love that so much. It is so dumb, but it's so cute.
It's so funny. It's so silly. Oh, look at how cute.
Wait, why did I freeze? Why did I freeze?
Oh.
Wait, I gotta screenshot this face.
Oh, my model froze.
Oh my god.
It's the derp she.
The derp she.
Oh.
Derp she. Alright, chat, petition time. Do I change my name to Schmeowzel?
Schmeowzel?
I told him I'm
Yeah.
not gonna call him Schmeow.
Can I call you Schmowzy?
Meow.
Schmeow. Schmeow.
I'm too used to calling him Shizzle. I can't call him Schmeow. I'll call him Honey anyway. I won't even.
They don't even call me Shizzle. What do you mean?
I do.
Yeah.
Can I call you
Shizzle!
No.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does.
No,
Shizzle!
Shizzle. Ice cream, Shizzle.
No. No ice cream today.
I know, no
What is it,
ice cream. We went to a Christmas party and we played bingo.
Nice.
I won a bamboo Lego set.
That's wonderful. Good job, Shizzle.
I wanted bingo. One of the clients won twice, and she picked both candy things.
Yeah,
It was
they were like
4-foot
taller than
Reese's.
me.
It was like a 4-foot package of Reese's.
And then a 4-foot pack of Hershey's.
What was it? No, it was just a little like a mug.
Oh.
It was like a mug that had Hershey's on it, and there was like a moose in it.
Oh, I thought it was the same thing.
No.
How much did that cost?
$25.
Not bad.
Damn. I ain't got no money for nothing. Buys $25.
I got paid.
Huh?
She has money.
I just
She
have
always
money for
says
the
she
shit
don't
you
have
want me
money.
to buy. This is the first piece of VTuber art I've bought in
Yeah,
like
she has
months,
not
bro.
bought any VTuber
I have not
art.
bought anything.
What am I doing?
I don't know, what are you doing?
Yeah, I was right. This bamboo thing is a $30 set.
I'm opening all my things.
No, let me see. Wait.
Which one? This one or this one?
Do you want to continue using the bamboo shoot? Or bamboo shoot, the dual blades?
Yeah.
Then you want swallow call. Because light attacks deal more damage when
I'll
they're
do 5
below.
of these.
No.
All of?
All. See, oh, you did get them. Ah, it's a gold thing though. Well, you're guaranteed to get a gold roll on something, but that's not really good. No, you're not going to use that one. Because it doesn't give you anything.
What?
So, but sword. What's this one? No. This one? See, that gives you max physical. Now it works for your dual blades too. And what you can actually look at now, so that's now you can actually start gearing. So go back to this actually. What is that? Click it. Use that. That's actually really good. We're gonna try to get you the
rope dart?
Don't use it yet because you don't have it, but lock it because you want to keep that.
Where is that coming from?
Over here. What's that? Performing a dodge has a 50% chance. Scroll down on that. Up in the text. Scroll. Not all the way, just a little bit. So you have a chance to restore HP and endurance. That one's not very good for you, because you don't really want to do a whole... Actually, with dual blades, you do want to dodge a lot, so... Because there's going to be an ability when you dodge, time slows down for you. Or for everybody else, not for you. And it only works in solo mode, though. You didn't get boots. Boots come from a different fight, so you didn't get new boots. Yeah, use that. Oh, body armor? Body armor?
Body armor.
Damn it. I mean, so, see, that's better, but I would use it, because it's, yeah. What about these? Nope, you didn't get anything new. Other one? Good stuff will always, or the higher level stuff will always be in the front.
This one?
Yeah. Nope. Next time, no. Okay. So we're gonna just have to run more. Which, we're gonna party still? No. This will always, because you're old gear. Wait, what can be enhanced? Why does it say quick enhance?
Inner ways.
No, nothing can be. I think you just unlocked that. So,
I've had that.
so we just did this, right?
Yeah.
No. So now we can do this one.
Oh, I thought we did that one.
Oh no, we did that one. Yeah, you're right. So now we're gonna do this one. And this one you're gonna triple claim it.
Okay.
So let's start up here for a second.
I'm gonna be a DPS.
Right for me. I'm not in the party.
Oops. That was quick.
Heroes, no, sword trial level 51, right? Level 51? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be super quick. Oh,
You
we don't
said
have a
that about the
page,
last one. Got my.
The first one we did was quick, not the trial. That one sounds long.
Break the square. Then show. One shot darkness. One shot darkness.
Oh, damn, he died. Oh god, watch out. Oh god, I ran right into the tornado. What are you doing in Marble Rivals?
I want to finish the death stuff.
Oh.
I was working out this morning. I still haven't been done. Oh. That's weird. So I got a new charger for my phone. It's this little setup where it has a watch charger, iPod, or iPods, Apple Pods, AirPods? Jesus. AirPods charger and the phone charger, all
Claim
magnetic.
triple? I can't claim triple.
Yeah, triple claim.
I can't
can?
claim triple, no. Don't let me.
Double then.
I'm sorry,
There's gonna be
Pumpkin.
another boss.
Go on.
Whatever.
That's it? Oh, next
There's one
boss.
more boss.
Oh.
I was coming to say hi, but I see Pumpkin down there and I refuse to do it now.
How are you, Mikey? Oh my god, Jesus, that exploded. Oh, we have an AFK, that sucks. Thank you for the sub, Mikey. How are you?
The war drums sound. It is time to march to the north.
You can die, you dumb slut. Oh god, I got 8. That's rough.
I'm like really low on energy.
I'm good. They had the day off. Yay! I worked today, and I worked.
Huh?
Yeah.
And I also
I
worked on
forgot.
Christmas
We
Eve.
have to kill the.
No one killed it. Out of all the people we had with us, no one thought to. Oh my god.
I forgot about them.
Is everyone dead?
Yeah, it's just the
No,
tank
there's one guy alive. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
He died now.
Oh, can we try
I
again?
forgot. Yeah.
If I just get a kill.
The war drums sound. It is time to march to the
Oh, I got 8. Apparently I was scheduled today, but I called and told them that I shouldn't be scheduled because Sundays and Mondays are supposed to be my set days off. So they removed the points for not showing until I don't have to. Hell yeah! So you made it work.
Run. That attack, you just run around.
Yeah, I figured.
For some reason, my boss has decided that I am an valuable employee, and so I don't do the regular stuff anymore. And now I'm like responsible for
You gotta kill the.
organizing and shit. And now I'm like, oh no, I'm important now. Now they know. Now
We
they
gotta kill
now they
what?
ask for me.
We got him. They're dead.
Now they're like, oh, where's Pumpkin? You know, and it's like, no, she isn't even working.
God.
In the middle?
Oh god. Ouch.
No, we just dodge. Just get out of the things, find a corner.
Taking a lot of damage.
A lot of damage.
Yeah, use potions if you can.
It was burning to death.
I can't. I have the wrong potions on.
I hate being the dependent one. Every 20 minutes I hear my name being called. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at now. And it's okay. It makes the day go by faster now that I'm not just doing regular.
She's the
I
only
usually
one alive.
picking groceries for, you know, OGP. But now I'm like in charge of
Watch out!
GMPs. I'm in charge. They usually have me in charge of staging things now. Which our store was so small that.
Oh, you're on a horse? I was going to.
Yeah.
Are you streaming, Pumpkin?
Uh-huh.
You can invite me to share chat if you want.
Okay. Damn, those bitches killed me.
Are you still alive? Oh my god.
No, how'd I get 8? Why does it stay? What the fuck? No! Oh. Double
We're just gonna start
pill!
over.
Oh my god.
Hopefully everyone was
Oh
actually paying
god, I'm
attention
gonna
while I
get
fight.
beat.
Make sure you have the
I need to put my proper potions on.
wound balm.
How did this happen? How has this happened? How am I under
Oh
the
no, I had the right potions on. They're just not healing.
I
for-
win!
South. It is time to march to the north.
Yes, I can do my job. No, I cannot keep it very well until by myself on a Friday. Oh literally, oh my god, don't even get me started about fucking Friday. Don't even get me started about Friday.
Ads.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Now. They can't touch him.
Yeah, my potions don't heal for shit.
Eh.
I need heals.
Sorry,
Where's
that's
our...
so bad.
Reckless warmongering at home.
I'm not healing for shit.
This. In the middle. So this one you just need to get out of the AoEs that happen. So pick a corner and get between them. And I don't know why I'm getting
I don't even know what color I was.
That's how it's happening to me last time. Is it because I touched the wall?
maybe no, the wall shouldn't matter.
Oh, that's cute.
Okay, I'm alive. Okay.
What's right? What's wrong? Reckless warmongering at home.
My boss really thought that Sunday was going to be terrible. But we had everybody, every single person except for one, because that was their normal day off. And
So this one you're gonna get on a horse and use your E to dash into other horses. So you'll press F to get on the horse. And use your E to dash into all the It should be your E, that's your tilt.
God. So that's lame.
Go kill the ads.
That's really funny. No! No! Release me! Release me!
Whoa.
They kept saying the time isn't right.
Oh, an
Kill
ad.
that thing.
Oh, they got it.
You just gotta ignore the boss when I say kill the ads, stop attacking the boss. These guys aren't paying attention. They're not doing anything.
Oh! Why?
Break. Split.
Dude, stop spawn camping. What the fuck's wrong with you? That sucks.
You live?
Yeah.
There's a heal bubble over here. Not bubble, but AoE. Oh god.
Claim reward. Double again if you can.
Leave?
Wait, don't leave. I can just.
Jesus.
6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7.
Kick him. No, it's just us. No, we can just, in the top right, you can just exit.
We could have did that before.
No, I know. I was kicking them first, though. Where the heck did it put me? Oh.
Oh, that's right.
What you get?
Hold on 1 second.
What'd you get?
Ha 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 ha.
Did you already open them all?
No.
Open. Open. No. 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 The 24. Yeah. All swallow.
You know what's better than 24?
Swallow.
25. Swallow.
Bamboo.
Bamboo.
Damn, no weapons? Oh, you got some. You got blue ones.
Doombound. Umbrella.
No way, I only got freaking 2 that game. That's dumb.
Oh, can you accept that?
I can't.
And share chat. Pumpkin. We're not
Okay,
sharing
ready to
chat.
I opened it. It doesn't
Yeah, you
even say
didn't
you're
sh-
in here.
Then share it. Oh, can I see real quick? Just real quick.
See what?
I'm talking to Shizzle.
Oh.
I'm sorry. But that's what I'm using.
No, 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 no!
There's Buffy playing Valorant with us.
Oh, cute. Man, I wish those days.
Me too. Nothing? Not even a purple? Oh my
That's good,
god.
though. That's good.
I hate my fucking Chungus life.
It's not even
Damn.
enough to buy. Oh, you can buy that.
I'm such a fat fucking chud.
That's what I got.
I'm such a fat
I got that
fucking chud.
6'7".
Oh my god.
Fat fucking
The
chud.
vocals.
I have so many of these fucking
Keep
power
saying
bricks
no.
for fucking USB-C things. It's like
You
annoying.
keep saying, oh, is it because you haven't.
Who needs a free power brick? Or whatever this fucking shit is. I don't fucking know what this is.
Okay, there we go. Now it's doesn't see me.
Oh, so that's how that works.
This is gonna be better anyways. Because now.
I
you get
have
this.
my calm waters. Perfect dodge. What does a perfect dodge do?
You dodge right before you get hit.
Yeah, I know, but
Oh,
when I perfect dodge has a
you heal health and you
50%.
gain more endurance.
Oh.
Damn.
So you can dodge more.
Damn.
Damn. I need to stretch.
Oh, I need this away.
Help me. Ouch! You're hurting me. Thanks. I'm gonna take a potty break.
Potty break, potty break.
Are you out of energy?
I don't think so.
Hi, I'm Ashi.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I did. Yo, what?
Water over there? Should I leave it downstairs?
Downstairs.
Oh. What time is it? Is it bedtime? No.
Not yet. Wait, you only have one? Why do you only have... Why does it only say you have one? That's weird.
One what?
It's only saying you have one
Medicine?
medicine, but you have 28. But it's only letting you get one.
Yo, what the fuck?
Oh, you really gotta collect these.
Damn. Damn. I don't even remember what color I was. Purple had purple on lockdown. Goddamn. Oh, I was pissed.
No, I know, but you almost tripped.
Little. Jojo, do golden wind, do Jojo, do golden wind.
opening?
All your boxes. You didn't get nothing. Oh, you get this.
I still haven't found my
Damn.
baddies. But I found these. Oh, I meant to buy a candle warmer at work today.
You've got all this stuff you don't open.
Oh, me too. Yeah. Wait, turn off what?
Ouch.
Oh, yeah.
Chat, I'm gonna go get some water.
You want to focus on healing?
No.
You
Yeah.
want Scholar?
No, I don't know how to do scholar.
That's just Gift of Gab.
Ew.
That's all that does.
No.
You'll naturally level it up. Ready?
Shit. Oh. Are you kidding me? You ate me in my ult? You're a dumb...
What the?
Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Whoa. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna fucking lose
You're having
my
way
mind.
too much fun with that.
I need one.
You need a model?
No, and an iPhone.
Bruh.
Quit tripping on that.
Am I pissed? I am pissed. Oh no, I'm orange. Okay. No! Not me! No! No! This bitch is oh, I see. That's really funny, actually. Ha! No way.
Harmony?
Bitch. Brother, this guy stinks.
This guy stinks. Well, that's where you get it.
What?
I found the bamboo.
Oh. Oh, we were winning? That's crazy. Cute. He's a land shark. Oh my god, Jeff is so cute. He's the most important thing in my life. I wish I could be Jeff the shark. There's not a single thought going on in that brain. Oh, I got a thing. I got a title. An achievement. Customized title. What did I get? Didn't I get the title? What did I win? Champion striker. That's cute. Give me her. Give it to me. Give me her. Is you're not gonna give me her. Oh my god! Oh, is this the MVP or her the skin? Please, please be the skin. Oh, she's so cute. That's the. Oh my god. Yes. Oh, cute. Oh, I love her so much. She's so... that one's funny. I like that one. I'm gonna...
Okay, I'm back. It's my turn.
That one's cute too. You're so important. Only life is easy. Oh. What'd you give me? Okay, cute. Oh.
No, I'm not done.
Nice, nice, nice.
Nice,
Is they...
nice.
Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl doesn't have one.
No, we're just gonna do this.
Oh my god, they gave Star-Lord a Tamagotchi? That's so
That's
cute,
huge.
actually. That's
big.
huge.
Don't do that.
That's huge.
Don't do that.
That's
Sorry.
huge.
That's
I'm
huge.
gonna get the
That's
Drax
huge.
one because I think Drax is awesome. Drax is me, actually.
Mantis is me.
Yeah.
So I could add.
I just call you really bad things, but it's because that means I love you in my language.
Mm-hmm.
That's really funny,
No.
actually. Mashy, I got a new Squirrel Girl skin.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, it's really
Stop
cute.
that.
She's so
So then
cute.
this.
There him is.
She has little horns. Oh, she's so cute. Why is Pumpkin 6'7"? I hope everyone's upset by this. I hope.
So we're
I
not gonna
hope
do that.
every-
This is just a
If you
temporary
press
weapon.
Z, it'll do the animation.
This is also a temporary.
Oh my god, Jade!
But this all. That one's poopy.
That's the best thing
Super
ever.
poopy.
She's so cute, man. I wish I was Squirrel Girl. But instead of squirrels, ferrets.
I would love that.
Wouldn't it be awesome to control ferrets? Dude,
Army of
I
ferrets.
I would be the god of like
Actually.
thieves. Like we would be. I would just like run a thief. Like yeah, anything shiny,
Oh,
my
and,
little
like-
dudes are gonna come get them.
You can press filter.
Stick 'em up, pumpkin. 6,
I'm going
7.
first.
No,
Well, then you
oh,
won't
stick
see
'em
those
up. My
crappy
6 and
things in here.
7. 6, 7. 6, 7. I'm
Okay, I'm gonna
sorry.
try a couple
Not
things here.
really.
Let's tune this. Because that's good.
No! Oh my god.
Let's go that one. That one. That's the good one, right? Yes.
It's so funny.
Well, I really lost the good one.
Maybe
Oh, I
did.
want to get that as an emote for Pumpkin. The fucking cat screaming, but it's just Pumpkin. I need that. That's me at work every day. Ugh.
So even though this
Did
one
I-
has the max
Doesn't she
physical,
have an emote in this
this
one?
will give you this 4-piece, so we're gonna use that.
Mm.
But maybe we'll get lucky in here.
I wanna sit. I wanna sit. What? You don't want to sit on the floor.
You're not gonna use tank weapons. We'll get rid of those.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh Jesus.
What are we tuning?
Good god. This is such a cute squirrel girl, I'm not gonna lie. She's really
So this
cute.
once you max this out, you can actually kind of. So if you attunement this, so if you attune for your bamboo cut, this is what you have the potential of getting. For bamboo cut, it's good because it's less things.
like this. I was like, more.
Every
Anything about a boot cut will be good for you. But we'll save those because it takes these.
Help. A little clown going 6'7" makes so much sense, though, doesn't it? Every time I shoot an acorn, it makes a little dinging noise.
And one legendary.
Oh, seeing her with long hair looks funny.
Good.
Momentum.
And crit rate. Double crit rate.
Oh no! Oh my god, that was not a whale of a time.
Where did you put the squirrel girl skin?
Oh, I thought. I'll get a picture of it and I'll post it.
Whoa, I'm like 1.0 goose. Oh, that's my healer.
Goon.
You're at 11k for healers left.
Oh, for healer.
You almost caught up to me already.
Dang.
Because I've been doing both. You are not a gabber.
I'm not a gabber.
We got all these all.
I'm not a yo gabba gabba.
Oh man, my squirrels.
So let's do...
Ew. Ew.
Let's get through this.
Get wrecked, Wolverine! Get wrecked!
Chisel stinks.
No, I don't.
What?
Wanna buy these? Say goodbye to your jades.
Bye bye, Jades.
They said eggs.
Say goodbye to your eggs.
Say goodbye to your eggs.
I'm gonna buy these. Yeah,
No,
those for later.
you didn't give that to me.
I'm so loving soon.
Because now we can go here. Like this. Because not enough. You're gonna use this over this one. So this one, as you deal damage, you'll gain 5% damage.
Yells my name and doesn't even respond when I do. Hi, Mashi. Pumpkin doesn't read chat. Oh.
Yeah. What do you mean? I said what? Hi, Mashy Pumpkins reach out, yells my name, and doesn't even respond when I do. Oh my god.
Oh,
You're
my
silly.
God.
She was talking about Jeff the shark.
My channel, my stream name is Shark.
We're going to... You want to keep these. That's a good one. This one, I'm going to recycle. And... Recycle. 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 I'm never going to use these.
He beat me with a stick! Put my name in all caps in your title. I'm sorry, Shark, for screaming your name.
You ever going to do tank?
Mm-mm.
Never?
Never.
Healing?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe?
Mm-hmm.
I wish I was Jeff the Shark.
What happened to
I'd
your
rather
thumb?
be Squirrel Girl, though.
Why is it...
That's just how my thumb's been.
What the fuck? It's all calloused. Why is it all calloused like that? Don't do that! He was gonna bite it.
Gross.
So that you do because you do
You
dodging.
all are awesome. No, you're awesome, JJ. No, you're
They
gorgeous.
should give,
No, you're
Gambit,
breathtaking.
like a tarot card reader skin.
You ever gonna use the spears?
No, probably not.
Because I'm gonna recycle these then to try to get other things.
Okay.
Hanging
The
in
thing
with
I
the
think
control
I'm
stick.
gonna use the most is rope dart, dual blades, and that sword, I guess.
So no spear. No tank. No tank.
Let's heal that person. They have miasma. And
They're already
Moya.
healed.
Moi moi. How are you?
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Wow, this is...
You guys need to watch Welcome to Derry because I have the theme song stuck in my head.
Welcome to Night Vale.
We got two of them.
I love Where Winds Me. Oh, you've been playing, Moy? You should add me. I'll give you branches. It's just Mashi. Can you type it in
Mahi
chat?
mahi. Mashi, what if you
Ma.
just... I know, I'm gonna make a funny picture.
Ma. Thank you, Shark. That's right.
Oh.
That's correct.
Oh, I was typing in here.
Bruh. Yeah, because I couldn't do regular Mashi because it was all taken. Mashi Mara was taken, Mashi was taken, Mashumu was taken, Mashuwu was taken. Actually, I don't think I tried Mashiwu. What is a morrow?
On the morrow.
It's a Mashi on the morrow.
Oh, you can level this up when you get it.
Huh?
Amaro is like I don't know.
A bird.
Yeah.
She'll be back on the morrow.
Smile is something special. A ribbon is something rare. So I'll be special and I'll be rare with a smile and a ribbon in my hair. Do do
Yeah.
do 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 do. Sorry.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
What?
I just pinged somebody in the face like
Ouch.
3 times
Sorry.
with an acorn,
Think
and
you
they
need to get
because they
this.
probably weren't paying attention.
Ugh.
If you fucking touch me, you fucking leech, I swear to God.
I have nothing in that.
That's
Yeah, so you have
not.
to go up
Aha! Get off of me! Oh,
I
that's
don't remember
really
that,
funny.
But you get this, so there's a 10% chance you apply a bleed, and when you get 5 bleeds, it does piercing damage.
Okay.
Could be good with dual blade. This increases your damage when you attack.
Mhm.
This also does physical defense and resistance. Poison reduces their damage or defense.
Okay.
For now, I guess we can break this here, I think.
Get wrecked. Get
Each
fucking
successful
wrecked, you
detection
stupid
restores
billionaire.
damage. Oh. If you want to get really good at deflecting. Wait, what? This effect shares the same cooldown with the main effect. The
I
main
do want to get good at deflecting.
The main effect has no... Oh, every 30 seconds. But yeah, when you deflect, you get... That's not really good, though, because
So
it's just
funny.
the next skill,
So funny.
not the next several attacks.
Hmm.
That's going to get replaced. Wait, did I break through? No. Maybe we should... Ow.
Sorry.
What?
There's a lot of stuff in this game. It hurts my head.
So this
Yeah.
is the 3 bosses. Here's Jam Sword Trial. Some
Why did you look like that? Ow. GG. GG.
Chill.
Chill.
You're almost one goose. You'll be able
There's
to
a
fight.
ladybug on my thing, on my computer tower. It's not even a ladybug. I don't think it's a... I think it's one of those beetle... Asian beetle things.
We already have that set. So... You have to come in here.
Mhm.
Well, first things first.
You can teleport to the fire.
You need to get these done. I don't know how you have 4 of them, but you're only supposed to have 2 encounters done, or out at once. More won't spawn. So you have to get these done.
Well, that's that.
No.
The first one is where I'm at currently.
Oh, yeah. Get those done. And you have to come here.
What are those question marks? Oh, they're games.
Why
Yep.
are they question marks?
I
though?
don't know.
It's weird. You have to come here to this. You gotta level this up to 2. And then you're gonna go here.
Oh god.
This is... There's no, like, weapon. I'll just do... Is that purple? Is that purple? I can't tell.
He's thirsty.
Okay, so do those encounters.
Mhm.
Level up this disguised person to 2. And then you come here and there's an encounter that'll start, and that's where you get rope dart. That's a pain.
Ah, you okay?
No, my knees are old.
That's
Been
really
around
funny.
too much.
Oh. That sounds dirty.
Where'd Chibo go?
My Jibble?
Go take a shower because he's stinky?
No, he was right. He
If
was
you
right
want
here.
to get good at deflecting, just listen to my uncle at Thanksgiving dinner. Deflecting? Oh.
Yay, we can be
that's funny.
friends.
It was kind of crazy. It kicked me right when I walked back into my room.
Bounty. Okay, what are we do? What am I doing again? Yippee!
Oh god.
Oh, I was gonna redeem some codes. Let's see. Yes, I will post them.
Oh god, I died. Eep!
Where is Stoic Server? There it is.
Damn.
Okay, the way you redeem codes is you go to the settings icon and then you go to the arrow or press E. And then you go to other and then you go to buy exchange code. And there is TF33HXJMJC.
It's really funny.
Used successfully. And then we could do another one. YYSLSTIB. successfully, and then WWMD
Oh, that's funny.
and then WWM 25115. Wait, 251115. WWM 251115. Oh, I guess that's WWMGL.
Where did you post them?
In gaming chat. Okay, those are the only.
I have to scroll up so far.
No, you have to scroll down.
No, I have to scroll up. Gaming chat is up.
Nope, I don't care.
Already used. I think we already used all these.
I haven't.
I think I have.
Okay.
This was all in those batch of codes that I gave you before. Yeah, I've used all these. I'm gonna go watch all those quests before I miss them all in Discord.
What are you selling? What are you buying?
The stuff in milk can help you focus. What was this ad?
Good thing you didn't come back.
Oh, I haven't claimed my free hairs in a while.
Oh shit, me either.
Where does that? Where was that place? It was by King.
Oh, can we anymore?
I don't know. Yeah, because it was outside of the town. 676767. Hi Mashy. Hi BTOS. Whoa, 67.
I've invited chaos.
Buy-in. Yo, mama.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah, you can
God.
still get them.
So funny.
Go to the blissful retreat and you go south, just like straight south.
Blissful
Yeah,
retreat.
I'm like bald.
Blissful retreat.
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let
Man, this is a
you
Wendy's.
I'm gonna turn around and desert you.
Okay, my turn to go kill the goose god.
Throw him in the water.
Nope, I'm gonna fight him.
Bruh. That's when the joke
I am
dies.
I am 0.4 more goose
How
than
long
he is.
until McDonald's makes a 6-7 meal? Oh my god.
Stop talking.
Stop talking!
Who just said that?
Oh, I got bald! I got the bald hair. It's not really hair.
If you get 6 again, I think it's every day it's the same. Okay, no.
Master, are you busy?
No.
Yeah.
Can you
Not
heal
busy.
me?
I can heal you.
I'll heal you.
No! No,
She's
I'll
just
heal
busy.
you.
No. I need it for the daily.
Do you though?
Yes.
Hmm. I can.
Only one of you were able to show up, so. I invited both of you.
I hit my head. Do you need healing?
Ow. You need healing?
And Amoya needs healing. Okay, you can. Shizzle can heal.
Healing.
Don't worry, I'll hurt myself again.
I've actually intentionally tried to hurt myself and I just can't anymore. I'm
Oh,
too
I
strong.
can.
You have bone stress.
Yeah, I'm really stressed.
She fell off a cliff.
Like me, please. Someone didn't like me. Thank you.
That's crazy. Who couldn't like you?
Oops.
Whoever my doctors are hot.
I'm never gonna help anybody.
Donkey.
Because I messed up, I'm never gonna help anybody.
Because you messed up?
Yeah.
I recorded a donkey.
Sorry, I pressed spacebar.
Okay, let me find an.
Hi, Onyx. Fucking give it.
There's plenty of people who don't like me, JJ.
Press co-op. Join you for our next position. How did you get my number? Who are you? I know who you are, but how did you get here?
I invited.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I know that you're in chat, but how did you get my number? I didn't understand. This is not Marvel Rivals. You're absolutely right. This is not Marvel
Oh, you're not
Rivals.
even in here yet. You're still teleporting. No, this is not Marvel Rivals. This is Where Winds Meet. That's okay.
I was just playing it though. If he gets your number, can I get your number? Damn, Onyx!
Just call it out on stream. I got Pumpkin's number.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
we're not gonna talk
what?
about this.
The goose killed me. They all teamed up on just me. They didn't fight each other like they did for you.
That's crazy. Yeah, mine was really glitched out.
I got
I'm
goose.
gonna destroy the goose god. The goose killed me.
Damn, that escalated. Actually, that just de-escalated.
I don't know. Yeah, they really bugged out on your side. You got lucky.
You're gonna tell me that there's not a seat there?
Why is it not letting you teleport? Is it broken? The goose killed me 3 times. Oh my god.
That's crazy.
Oh,
You'll flip my number? Yeah. No, thank you. I mean, I don't know. I have free texting.
It take forever to load. It's okay.
Goose god has
Did
been
you buy that
summoned.
outfit? It's cute.
I mostly cell phone numbers are like
Wow, Mashi.
are almost like a secondary like identification number these days. So giving your cell phone out, you have to I don't know, you know, like you can hack into people's shit with a cell phone number. Yeah, you have to have the cell phone, but like
Thank you.
Not necessarily.
Thank you.
yeah, I get not even
with
necessarily.
the right amount of persuasion and a stupid worker at the whatever cell company that they can get your SIM number switched.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Ooh, umbrella. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, I have that too. Wait, how do I do that? How do I do that? Oh god, I'm so sorry. Oh my god. How do I do that again?
These little things are weird.
6.
6.
7. 6, 7.
I'm gonna. Mashi, I can't believe you took my patient from me. I'm done with you too.
I'm
That's
sorry.
so funny.
I'm gonna go fall
No,
off
you're
a
not.
cliff so you can heal me.
No, I don't want to heal you.
Beautiful. Oh, fuck, that was funny.
Wait, do I have to stop
Forgot to
my...
laugh.
Please don't take me seriously. Okay. Oh
Why
no,
am
I don't have to
why
have
am I
your number.
hovering?
I can just SIM swap. Yeah, see? No, don't do this.
Hold on, I have a better outfit than the current outfit I'm wearing.
This place is pretty.
Wait, no. Wait. Wait.
This looks like a boss fight.
This one.
How is there not a... There it is.
Bye-bye. Come again.
Please come again.
Please come again. Okay, time to go. Thank you for the heals. You're welcome. Time to go fall off a cliff.
No.
Yes!
No.
Okay, your terrible doctor won't even heal. Damn.
Oh. Well, and that's just curious. I think there's a
How have I never gotten this teleport area before? Oh, am I in Pumpkin's co-op world?
Yes.
This is awkward.
Can I not ring it again?
Ring-a-ding-a-ling. Oh god. Okay, it's fine. Oh look, this is a perfect place to fall off the mountain.
Oh, I see.
Whee! Oh, I'm dying. I need heals, honey. I need heals.
Am I gonna put this whole rock in my pocket? Yes, I am.
This whole rock in my... You got a rock in your pocket?
Yeah, I got massive pebbles for you, baby girl. Come here, frog.
We're gonna have to wait a minute. I'm running laps with the Well of Heaven disciples.
Got another giant
I'm
rock
naked
in my
running laps.
pocket.
Oh, okay.
¿Dónde está the other one?
What, is that from something?
No. You don't like my Spanglish?
¿Dónde está the other one?
Like,
I didn't even know it's a cute fox dress. So cute. Thanks. Uh-oh.
Are you in here?
What the heck?
Thanks.
Can you not climb on the fucking wall? Oh, you ruined it. I don't know how you did it, but you fucking...
I left the co-op world. Did I fuck you up?
Yeah, like fucked up my thing.
Oops.
Did I get it? How many more of these things do I need? Oh my god.
Oh my fucking god.
I only see 3. Did I claim you?
Why do you have a dot above your health bar? What is that?
I don't know.
What do you want from me?
Oh yeah. Let's go. My muscles hurt.
I don't... What am I supposed to do about this?
Bruh, you one-hit that.
Yeah, that's why there's no point. That's why
How
there's
do
no
I
big
go?
deal thing.
How do I contact? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I forgot to like him. No. Come back.
That's crazy work.
Hold on. Hold on. I'll hurt myself again.
That's
Ah. Oh, I'm flying. I'm flying. I'm flying. Oh, there's a chest.
I know, I saw that.
Okay, that didn't hurt me. I'm sorry, honey. We're terrible. Not gonna lie, I
You
only realized
you
you can
can't
hit
say anything now because you
more
got me
than
back.
once. I did get you back. Now I'm somehow resistant to fall damage. Ooh, cover. Wait, you just realized you can hit more than once? Hit the disease more than once? Yeah, I'm immune to fall damage. Oh, the like
you can,
button.
like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can hit it 5 times. Puppy. Is this the puppy? Is this the puppy? It is the puppy. It's alive. Puppy. Can I pet you? I can't pet him. Is something wrong with him? Is that's why he's so barky? No, nothing's wrong with him. Don't do it! Don't do it. I can't look.
That's not supposed to do damage. Oh, that dog's dead. Oh, what the heck?
Wait, how do I... Okay, let's see all the hairs I have. I have this. Oh, you kicked me.
I didn't kick you. What? Apparently we can't. I can't go in here. Interesting.
Okay, so we've got this. This is kind of pretty. We've got this. 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 We've got bald! 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 The ears are floating. They're floating.
You can move them because it's
I
an
know you
accessory
can.
item, so you can.
I want this. Or this.
Oh, whoops.
I love this. I love it. Oh. It's this. I only have 46 of these jade pippas.
I don't understand what I'm supposed to do about this.
I don't care. I love it. Yeah, Gigi. Yeah, Gigi. Ah. What is it? This is my favorite outfit right now. Okay.
I can't do onboarding on my phone. Uh-oh.
Oh, what the? How the fuck was I supposed to figure that out? Oh my god. How does somebody even fucking figure that out?
If You just did.
Yeah, because I read the fucking signpost.
Then that's how they're supposed to figure it out.
That's fucked.
By reading.
That's an MMO.
Yeah, but how did they figure it out?
Oh.
So it wasn't plugged in. That's what was going on.
Maybe there was a quest hint or something.
Is it? Beautiful.
Fallout time.
Yeah.
And then bedtime.
Yeah.
I'm going the wrong way. Alright, my map sense is horrendous. Cricket. Oh, one of these things. I don't want to do that right now.
We are leaving. But you're still going, Pumpkin?
I don't know if I don't think so. I think I'm gonna end it.
What?
Don't, please.